businesses. And we hope to give you some strategies for sustainable growth and profitability, and we can jump right in.
So we'd like to have some key takeaways from today's brief presentation. First, we want to make sure that we go over managing cash flow, extremely important, tracking your monthly and annual or seasonal expenses, budgeting and forecasting, setting aside those appropriate funds throughout the year-round tax planning, and also setting financial goals for your business. Really, where do you want to see your business in the future?
Perfect. Thanks, Kelly. So what is financial planning? Financial planning is essential for the success and sustainability of your business. And of course, financial planning can come in all kinds of shapes or forms. You need to figure out what you're looking for, the strategy for your business early on so that you can get your financial plan going.
Absolutely. Cash flow is so important. Cash flow is the amount of money in and out of your account. Essentially, cash flow equals your income minus your expenses. So we constantly want to be focusing on improving your cash flow, decreasing those expenses any way we can, and also increasing your income. Not only is managing your cash flow crucial for operating your business, but it's one of the most important factors that lenders are going to consider should you need to apply for a business loan or a line of credit in the future.
Exactly. And what does cash flow look like? It's really the lifeblood of any business, as Kelly mentioned. You definitely want to make sure that your bills are paid on time. You keep your operations running smoothly. You can track the actual movement of money in and out of the business. And here's kind of a fun fact. Did you know? So the key differences between profit and cash flow profit measures earnings after expenses. So when you think about cash flow in general, it truly is the lifeblood of your business because you want to make sure you've thought of everything. If you're a seasonal business, if you have periods where you think you won't sell as much of whatever product or service that you're selling, all of that should be configured into your cash flow.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to add that we want to really look at that on a quarterly and annual basis and not just month to month.
Exactly.
Creating a cash flow statement. This is something where if you have the opportunity to reach out and work with a CPA, I highly recommend it. This is what they do all the time, and they can certainly help you with this. But essentially, the key components are going to be the inflows. So your revenue, loans coming in, money from investments, and then also, of course, your outflows, expenses, repaying those loans, setting aside money for taxes. So in order to create that statement, you want to list all of your cash flows, subtract out all of your outflows, and then the most important part, reviewing, updating that regularly. By staying on top of that on a monthly basis, that's really the best way you can track the overall trajectory of your business for that year.
Well said. Yes. There are several cash flow management strategies. So enhance inflows, as Kelly mentioned. So you can offer incentives for early payments. You can diversify income streams and expand your customer base. So when you think about enhancing your inflows, think about whether you want to join a chamber of commerce, whether you have some networking groups to get the name of your business out there and to be able to hand out your business card, or what marketing strategies you're deciding on. That can help to enhance your inflows. And then again, manage your outflows. So you can negotiate better terms with your suppliers, prioritize essential expenses, and automate processes. So there's definitely a lot of information. If you head to your local library, they can help you in the Small Business Development Center. They have business plans that you can model after. They can help walk you through what your past, present, and future might look like for your business.
Absolutely. That's such a wonderful resource. Definitely take advantage of that. Now, budgeting and forecasting. Budgeting serves as a financial roadmap, enabling effective resource allocation to proactively address potential challenges. Creating a realistic budget. Identify fixed and variable costs. Very important. You want to know what you can count on a monthly basis. Certainly, so that you're a little bit more prepared for those unexpected expenses. And speaking of that, you want to set aside a contingency fund for unexpected expenses. Obviously, that's a little bit more challenging with newer business owners, but essentially, you want to work toward that goal of being able to set aside approximately 10% of your total revenue for a contingency fund, working toward that goal of having at least 3 to 6 months of operating costs set aside for reserves. That will be very, very helpful again when those unexpected things inevitably come up. And then yet again, we always come back to regularly compare actual spending against the budget and keep track of that on a monthly basis. See if you need to make changes. So many businesses I find really review their financials quarterly. And while that's wonderful also, if you can set aside time to really track what's going on a monthly basis, especially in that first year of your business, you really do want to be looking over everything with a fine-tooth comb.
I agree, Kelly. And we have some forecasting techniques we can offer. Use historical data to project future revenues and expenses. You can utilize tools like spreadsheets, accounting software, or there are quite a few forecasting apps nowadays. Review and adjust your forecast periodically based on market trends. So I think this also aligns with what Kelly mentioned about think about your business, and if it is seasonal, think about reaching out to a CPA or a business attorney to walk you through and help you with that forecast. And then, of course, whatever's going on in the market, depending on what service or trade you're providing, can make a difference in when you're in your forecasting.
Absolutely. Tax planning strategies. Okay, there are several different business structures that you can utilize to set up your business. Sole proprietorship. This is going to be the most simple setup, but also includes personal liability, so certainly something to keep in mind. Probably the most common you'll see is a limited liability company or an LLC, a limited liability with flexible tax options, or then of course a corporation. They're going to be an entirely separate legal entity, potential tax benefits. This is where I would recommend reaching out to a business attorney if you really want to talk to an expert about this. They can be an absolutely essential resource if you have some really big questions about what's going to be best for you long term. I also recommend checking out the Secretary of State website. They have some really good information and free resources available as well.
And tax planning strategies. So this is a year-round thing for everybody, right? So we have to stay proactive by regularly reviewing your finances, setting aside funds for potential liabilities. And as we've mentioned a few times now, you can seek professionals. So work alongside that tax professional to enhance and maximize your deductions. Tax laws are always changing. You'll want to stay updated on those laws because oftentimes they do affect small businesses. And usually your tax or attorney can help you walk through that on a yearly basis.
Setting financial goals, so important. Provide direction and focus for the business and motivates your teams and measures success. So just a broad overview of some things to think about. Where do you want your business to be 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Do you have an ultimate goal for your business? Is that ultimately to sell your business or to expand your business into multiple locations? And really having that long-term vision in addition to what you're doing right now is something that can help motivate everyone altogether.
I agree, Kelly. So key performance indicators, so KPIs. These are important to measure your revenue growth rate, provide you with your net profit margin, and your customer acquisition cost. So I'm sure you're aware that you can use KPIs to track progress and adjust strategies. And there are several tools that you can even use on your phone that will help you take a look at your key performance indicators depending on your industry. And again, depending, are you going to be in multiple states? Are you going to be just here in Colorado? Are you going to have several employees, maybe just a few employees? So your KPIs can kind of help you look at the business as a whole and figure out your net profit margins.
Monitoring and adjusting, review financial goals, regularly review progress against your goals, Adjust your budgets and forecasts as needed, and incorporate feedback and learn from past performance. All of this to say that we want to have a plan, we want to have a strategy, we want to have a budget. Best laid plans, unexpected things come up. And so as long as we can really keep on top of things, be really honest about what's going in and coming out, and if we need to make changes, keeping abreast of those things on a monthly basis is going to allow you the flexibility to make changes before anything detrimental can occur to your business.
Perfect. Well said. I know we kind of flew through those slides a little bit early. I believe Bree is monitoring the chat for any questions. But again, we just want to reiterate that the Small Business Development Center at the libraries, great resource. They usually have monthly meetings and presentations, and they do have several tools that are free of charge to business owners. But I definitely want to thank you all for joining us, and I'll hand it over to Bree.
Thank you so much, Vicki and Kelly. That was wonderful. Really appreciate your expertise here. I have been monitoring the chat. I don't yet see anything coming through the chat or the Q&A, but if you did have any questions for either Kelly or Vicki, please feel free to put them there. Or you can also just reach out directly to ENT or some other great resources that were mentioned here today. So I'll wait just another moment to see if anything comes through. Just truly appreciate all of your time, and especially your time, Vicki and Kelly. Thank you for today. Going to stop our recording. We'll also have this available if you want to review it after the fact on our